Hey, everybody, and welcome back for another deep dive into learning English. Today we're going to be tackling something super practical, um, planning a housewarming party.
Oh, fun.
Yeah,
I love a good housewarming party.
me too. It's always so exciting to see people's new places.
Exactly, and all that new furniture and decorations.
I know.
So you'll be chatting about your new place like a pro in no time after listening to this episode.
Definitely. So to help us learn some key phrases and vocab, we've got a dialogue between two friends, Alex and Ella,
Okay.
getting ready to send out those invitations. So are you ready to listen in?
Absolutely, let's hear it.
All right, let's imagine we're flies on the wall here.
Okay.
Hey, Ella.
Hey, Alex, what's up?
Well, I'm planning a housewarming party, and I need your help designing the invitation.
Sure thing. When are you thinking of having it?
I'm thinking about next Saturday evening. What do you think? Should I put a dress code on the invitation?
It's totally up to you. But yeah, mentioning it might make it feel a little more formal. Good point.
Yeah.
Okay, well, the place can fit about 20 people. Hopefully everyone can make it.
Fingers crossed. We should definitely add an RSVP so you can get a head count.
Oh, good idea. I'll post the invitation on social media.
Perfect. Just don't forget to include your new address and info about parking.
Of course not. Thanks for the help, Alex.
No problem at all. I can't wait to see the new place.
Ooh, I love all the practical tips in there. So much good stuff packed into that short chat.
I know, right?
What really stood out to you?
Totally. There's a lot we can unpack here. First off, I think accommodate is a great word to focus on.
Oh, yeah, good one.
Yeah, Elle uses it when talking about how many people can fit in her new place.
Right, so in this context, accommodate basically means to have enough space for...
Exactly. Like you could also say the hotel can accommodate 500 guests.
Ooh, good example. I also noticed Ella said she'd circulate the invitations on social media.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Circulate means to spread something around or distribute it.
Oh, okay.
Like the teacher circulated the exam papers to the students.
Right, so it's not just giving it to one person, it's making sure it gets to everyone.
For sure. And another phrase I wanted to highlight is RSVP. You know that little note you sometimes see on invitations?
Oh, yeah, the all-important RSVP.
Yes.
You definitely need those if you're planning a party.
It stands for Répondez s'il vous plaît, which is French for please respond.
Fancy.
But thankfully, we could just say RSVP.
Right, so it's basically just a way of asking people to let you know if they can make it to the party or not, so you can plan accordingly.
Exactly. Simple, but so important.
I love how much useful stuff is packed into just a few lines of that conversation.
Right.
I think we should also look at some of the whole sentences that Ella and Alex use.
Yeah, definitely.
They're great examples of, how you can use these words in real life.
For sure. Context is key.
Yeah. Okay, well, the first one that stood out to me was when Ella said, "I need your help designing the invitation." It's so simple, but such a useful phrase.
Oh, absolutely. And you can use it in so many different situations.
Oh, totally.
Like you could just swap out the last part for anything you need help with.
Right.
Like, I need your help with my homework. Or I need your help choosing an outfit.
Yeah, so versatile.
Endless possibilities.
Another one I wanted to highlight was when Ella said, "I'm thinking about next Saturday evening." It's just such a natural way to express your plans.
It is. And it's not too forceful.
Right.
Like, if you said, the party is next Saturday, that's set in stone.
Oh, yeah.
But saying, I'm thinking about, it leaves room for suggestions or changes.
Right. It's like you're inviting the other person to give their opinion.
Exactly.
Which is perfect for casual conversations.
It is. And that reminds me of another great sentence structure from the dialogue.
Okay.
Remember when Ella asked, should I put a dress code on the invitation?
Oh, yeah.
That's such a good way to ask for advice.
It is.
You're acknowledging that you're not sure, and you value the other person's opinion.
Right. And you can use that structure for all sorts of things.
Exactly.
Should I add more salt? Or should I wear this hat?
All the
It's a really handy one to have in your back pocket.
It is.
I feel like I'm already leveling up my conversation skills just by breaking down this dialogue.
Yeah, me too.
It shows just how valuable everyday conversations can be for learning a language.
For
You
sure.
don't need to read textbooks all day, just pay attention to how people talk around you.
And how they use these phrases in different contexts.
Yeah. But speaking of paying attention, there's one more thing I wanted to touch on before we wrap up. We've been talking about the language itself.
Right.
But what about the cultural side of things?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Understanding the culture behind the language is just as important as the words themselves.
So tell me, what's the cultural significance of housewarming parties?
Well, in many Western cultures, a housewarming party is basically a way to celebrate moving into a new home.
Right. It's like an official welcome to the neighborhood.
Exactly. And it's not just about showing off your new place. It's about sharing that excitement with your friends and family.
Yeah.
Making the new house feel like a home.
I love that. It's so heartwarming. I've always loved going to housewarming parties. It's just such a fun way to catch up with people and see their new digs.
Same here. It makes me think about how different cultures have different traditions around moving.
That's interesting. I wonder if those traditions also use specific phrases or vocabulary.
I bet they do.
Oh.
That could be a whole other deep dive waiting to happen.
Oh, for sure.
But for now, I think it's time to recap what we've learned today.
Okay, sounds good to me. So we covered some really useful vocabulary like accommodate, circulate, and RSVP.
Yes.
And we saw how those words are used in context, which is so much more helpful than just memorizing definitions.
Absolutely.
We also broke down some key sentence structures like, I need your help, I'm thinking about, and should I?
All very useful.
And we even got a little glimpse into the cultural world of housewarming parties.
So good.
I'm feeling so much more confident about talking about all things housewarming now.
Me too. And speaking of confidence, I have a little challenge for our listeners before we wrap up.
Ooh, I love a challenge. What is it?
Okay, so imagine you get invited to a housewarming party, but you can't make it. How would you politely decline the invitation?
That is a good one. It's tricky.
It is.
You want to be gracious, even if you have to say no.
Exactly.
What would you say?
I have a few ideas,
Yeah.
but I'm more interested in what our listeners come up with.
Okay.
Think about the language you would use, the tone you want to convey. There are so many ways to say it.
It's a great challenge.
It is.
I'm going to have to ponder that one myself.
Well, we'd love to hear your ideas. Feel free to share them with us on social media.
Yes. Come join the conversation. And speaking of conversation, if you enjoyed this deep dive into English, be sure to subscribe and like our show for more tips and insights.
We'll be back soon with more fun and practical lessons. See you next time.
It's amazing how much we can learn from just one short conversation,
I know, it really is.
It highlights something really important for language learners, too. You don't need to wait until you're fluent to start having those real conversations.
It's exactly. Jump right in.
Even if you only know a few phrases,
Yeah.
start talking.
The more you practice, the more confident you'll become.
So true. Speaking of leaps, it makes me think back to something you said earlier about how different cultures have different traditions around moving.
Oh, yeah. I would love to explore that more sometime.
You too. It'd be fascinating to see how language and culture kind of intercept in those different traditions.
Totally. Like, what kind of phrases do people use in other countries when they move into a new home? Do they have special rituals or greetings?
Yeah. It makes me realize that learning a language is about so much more than just memorizing words. It's about understanding a whole way of life.
It really is a window into a culture's values and beliefs and customs.
I love that analogy. Each new phrase you learn opens up another window into a different world.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
Maybe our listeners will be inspired to kind of explore some of those different worlds on their own.
I hope so. That's the beauty of language learning. It opens up endless possibilities for connection and discovery.
Well said.
And on that note, I think it's time to wrap up our deep dive for today.
Okay, sounds good. Any final words of wisdom for our listeners before we say goodbye?
Just remember, the journey of learning English is a marathon, not a sprint. Be patient with yourself, celebrate your progress, and most importantly, have fun along the way.
Love that. Such great advice. And for those of you just starting your English learning journey, remember every little step counts. Keep practicing, keep exploring, and you'll be amazed at how far you can go.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of housewarming parties and everyday conversations, be sure to subscribe and like our show for more tips and insights.
We'll be back soon with more fun and practical lessons to help you master the art of English conversation. Until then, happy chatting.
Thanks for joining the conversation here at Kaz English. We hope you found it fun and informative. Don't forget to check out kazapp.uk. That's kazapp.uk for more tips, resources, and interactive practice. Keep exploring, keep chatting, and we'll catch up with you again soon.